Okay, this is week 10 speech. Um, Mine is on never go to the cemeteries at night. And first, we will start off with what I have. First, you have a superstition that most people do know. It's about Vlad the Impaler. He's known as Dracula in our days. Um, he was a prince in the 15th century in a Hungarian border of that side of the area. I honestly can't remember where right now. He was 45 when he died. A close friend had betrayed him, and that's how he got killed at age 45. His nickname was the Impaler. The reason being, his enemies would come onto his land, and he would impale them with a large stake, and then erect the stake to where they would just lie down the stake and die that way. And he was rumored to be eaten at dinner or lunch and watch them die and drink their blood. The nickname Dracul. Actually, his father got the nickname Dracul. I lied. But he became known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracul, and hint how he became instrumental due to Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Draculas that we know now, and all those good old superstitions. Um, the legend is that he would always come back to life. So he was the main character for vampires, of course. He was the main source of it. Now we're going to jump ahead a couple centuries, about 200-300 years, and people were never understood that they were diagnosed at that time with narcolepsy or epilepsy. Narcolepsy, let's see, is a condition that is characterized by an extreme tendency to fall asleep whenever you are in relaxing surroundings. Epilepsy is a neurological disorder marked by a sudden recurrent of sensory disturbance, loss of consciousness, or convulsions associated with abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Now, if you have either one of these diseases and you fall asleep, your heart rate goes down real fast to the point that they can't feel it. Your breathing is non-existent pretty much to where they think you are dead. And this hint premature burial. This happened quite a lot back in the days because they didn't have the stuff that we have nowadays. So people were notorious for being buried alive. There was a great writer back in the day that had done a story called The Premature Burial. Now, this is Edgar Allan Poe. This man is very dark in his stories, if you remember reading any of his stories and all that. But he tells stories about people waking up and they'd be in a coffin or they'd be in this house for their family to be buried in and all that. Colosseum, that's what I'm talking about. So, could you imagine being buried alive? People with superstition back in the day would think you were part of the undead because you weren't in your coffin. You were missing. They couldn't figure out where you went. So superstitions of vampires, Vlad came out and all this, and people believed it. To this day, we know it's not true. A lot of people, like I've said, have been buried alive and have died because they couldn't get out. Now, there were people that had done safety coffins. There was a doctor named Dr. Adolf Gutsmith, made himself a safety coffin. He would put a bell on top of the tombstone where they would take the string all the way to the coffin and put it in the person's hand. Just in case they wake up, they can ring the bell and be rescued. Some people would have keys in the coffin to where they can get out of the coffin. They can unlock the coffin and dig out. That's a little creepy, but okay. It's whatever their choice was at the time. There is no telling how people would react to seeing this. I know I would. I just run and scream. Some people were just astonished that this happened and couldn't understand why. Nowadays, we understand why it's happened. But But, get back to Vlad. The man may have done that. Don't know. I surely wasn't there. So, as far as him being Dracula, superstition has to come from somewhere. Seems like a good place to start. All I know is you won't catch me in a cemetery at night.